Hello, beautiful people. Honest Am here, the creator and writer of the Honest Useless newsletter. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I hope that this video finds you well. I'm here for another daily motivational video where we use the tarot to become the alchemist of our life and to teach us how to become spiritual beings. A little bit about me. I do not just do the tarot. I use God and cusses in the same sentence, and I may mispronounce some things, but if it does not stop Charlamagne the God, it will not stop me. So y'all, I am actually very curious to see what we're going to talk about this week. I've kind of been in like this very chill, like kind of receiving more information mode. I actually realized like I was listening to probably too much true crime stuff, and so lately I have been trying to balance that out and actually getting back more into my interviews, and so I'm excited to see what's all going to come up. So God, guardian angels, ancestors, beings of light, what information do you deem worthy for us to hear at this time to become the alchemist of our lives, or just to teach us how to become spiritual beings? Please deliver these messages to me and through me. In God's name I pray. Ashe. Angel number 51. 2 cards, please, God. 2 cards. 2 cards. I hope we get like 2 different cards. Sometimes I feel like we be reading the same card, right? Let's shake this stuff up. It's like a lot. Look how many cards in here. And sometimes I feel like we be getting the same card. So let's just hope we get a little extra. Alright, we pulled this card before. But it's okay. So the 2 cards that we're going to focus. Ooh. Y'all. Oh my God. Angel number 142. I'm so excited about this. The 2 cards that we're going to focus on right now is healing and adventure. And right away, I just really get the idea. Actually, I have an article on Honestly Sis called What If Life Is Just One Big Adventure? And I'll make sure that I'll link it down below. And in that article, I just talk about like how, you know, like what if the whole purpose of life is to not treat it serious or take it too, you know, like not to overthink it or to take it too seriously, but to just really look at it as if you are going on one big ass adventure. Like this, you know, the article is of course said much more elegantly, but like for some reason I just really get the idea for this message of healing and adventure, that God is like, stop taking your healing journey so serious. Like you really just need to look at it as an adventure. Like it's just let me calm down. It's like, I feel like what God is saying is like, for one, the healing, it's a journey. Like this is, the adventure is here. And I really like this. Let me break this down. So we have this healing, right? And it's like literally an angel helping another angel heal. And then we have this adventure, right? Where it's this angel look like he's lifting off. And I feel like what God is trying, oh my God, wow. What God is trying to say is that once you heal yourself, then you're able to go on the adventure of a lifetime. Then you're able to launch into all of these hopes, desires, and dreams that you want to have. But I feel like for so often, especially with like a lot of our, you know, our older celebrities, I was actually just watching Respect last weekend, and it's just like, I'm like, it feels like a lot of our older celebrities, a lot of our legends, like they suffered in their fame. Like they were sad and hurt and like dealing with a lot of childhood trauma. So I really wonder if they were even able to enjoy the fame and like even enjoy what was happening to them. Like I remember watching It Marries My Life on Amazon, and like how she was saying like how she was just like so miserable and she just really couldn't take in all of the stuff that was happening to her. And I feel like what God is trying to get us to understand is that the purpose for us becoming the alchemist of our lives and healing ourselves is so that when we do have, you know, these fames and these riches, and, you know, we get to scratch off things on our bucket list, we can actually feel it. We can actually enjoy it. We don't have to be running from things from our past because we are healed. And then I also feel like God is going back to this healing message and what I was saying before. I feel like what God is saying is like, you have to understand that the whole purpose of life, like you just, the healing journey is not something that needs to be taken so seriously. I feel like I know that I have, because I've been on this journey for a while, and I did like the yoga teacher training and the life training and all of these different workshops, and like everybody make everything be so strict and so strenuous, and like you can't listen to this type of music, you can't eat red meat, you can't do this and you can't do that. And it's like, God is not restriction. For you to heal, you don't need to restrict yourself of anything that you want. Like, you just need to let yourself be on an adventure and like really remembering who you are deep down inside. That's the true healing journey. The true healing journey is not for you to become so fucking enlightened that you're walking around in all white clothing and you're just like a nun and you're so good. No, the purpose of healing is so that the things that keep you up at night no longer keep you up at night. The whole purpose of healing is so that those things that make you feel insecure or that anxiety you feel when you walk into a room full of people, you no longer feel that anxiety. Like, let's take away all of these glamours, all of this bullshit, all of these schedules, all of this extra stuff, and get to the core of why we are healing. And we're healing so that we can become whole individuals, so that we can become the people that we are meant to be, so that we can go on our next adventure. I feel like for so many of us, I keep telling y'all, God don't care about time. So you'll be going through the same thing over and over. And so many of us have been in a cycle of poverty, and a cycle of heartache, and a cycle of betrayal, and a cycle of all of these lower vibrational things, because we are refusing to heal ourselves, because we're refusing to go into our emotions and seeing the truth of ourselves. And until you heal yourself, you'll never be able to go on that adventure that you want to go on. And honestly, let me not even say that. It's not that you're not going to go on your adventure, because we see that people will become who they want to become just off of, because of their heart and their attention, because it's an energy game, right? But what God is saying, don't you want to reach that milestone? Don't you want to reach the top of the mountain and be happy and be fulfilled and actually have joy? Like, I remember, not even I remember, but I know Oprah always say, like, I'm actually happy. Like, I'm a happy billionaire. Like, there's so many billionaires and so many rich people who are fucking miserable. Angel number 705. And God is like, that was not the purpose. Like, the purpose of you obtaining money, obtaining these riches, having your goals is not for you to reach it and become miserable. The purpose of it for you to do it is for you to have fun and to be on an adventure and like to be excited about life. You know, like, I don't care. I really don't care how much money you make. If you're miserable when you go to sleep at night, you're living in hell. You're just living in a posh ass hell, you know, like, you're just living in a luxury hell. But if you're not happy with your life, it doesn't matter how much money you have. Like, I literally just listened to a true crime story about Kate Spade, and she was at the top of her field and all of this stuff, but she still killed herself. And like, how many other stories do we have of that? Anthony Bourdain. Like, there's so many people who are so happy and who has the best career and a dream life, and then they end up killing themselves. And it's because they're not taking that time to heal their self. Okay? Let me actually get some tarot. I actually had like this whole little I had to like actually redo my phone, so it's like make sure my previews. Anyways, I actually have like a whole like how I'm supposed to do my videos, but this I do want to get some information on. What is your energy towards healing? How do you feel about adventure? Like, what are, like, God, what roadblocks, what do we need to know? What potential obstacles may be in our way to our healing? Where are we in relation to our healing? Where are we in relation to feeling like life is one big adventure, God? Allow no room for doubt or confusion. And the whole purpose of that article is like, because so many people are afraid to try new things because they're like, oh, I'm too old. Like, I legit know people who are 30 years old with no kids, no husband, no nothing. And they say shit like, I'm too old to try to do something. And it's like, girl, you do know the whole purpose of you being down here is to try shit, is to try to be happy. Like, I don't know where we got in our society that at a certain age you're supposed to have everything together. Like, you don't get the shit together until you get it together. You know, like, that's the whole purpose of it. The whole purpose of life is for you to learn and to understand yourself and to heal and to grow and to explore and to experience new things, to go on an adventure. That's the whole purpose of life. And if you're not doing any of those things, that's probably why you're so fucking miserable. Because you're doing what you're supposed to do. I'm so over that shit. I'm so over that shit. I'm done doing what the fuck I'm supposed to do. Fuck that. I had to turn fucking 32 to become a rebel in my life. But whatever. It is what it is. Okay, God. Alrighty. Let's have this conversation here. So for healing, what we have is the sun. And the sun is, of course, this badass bitch who is standing in her power. She has ultimate peace. I believe that this mantra is like connecting to the earth. I used to know that mantra. I do it all the time. It's like a natural one, but I can't remember what it exactly means. But it's like, you know, this woman, she is standing grounded in herself. The sun is right above her. Like she just, what do you just see that? You see confidence. You see, just like confidence, grounding, vulnerability, like, you know, she has like a little flower crown on, so of course like victory. And I feel like that's what God said, that's the whole purpose of you to have, that's the whole purpose of healing. The whole purpose of your healing journey is for you to reach this point in your life where you're just like, everything that I've been through made me who I am. Everything I've been through is okay. Like, and it's not saying that the stuff that people did to you, it was okay for them to do it. No, it's to say that even though this shit happened to me, I'm still who I am. I still accept me. Because the problem is, a lot of us, the reason why we feel resistance and the reason why we don't truly get the healing that we want is because we're judging ourselves because of what happened to us, instead of just realizing like, oh, like either if you were at fault, like either you were just like, oh, well, I did not have that information to make the correct decision, so why would you judge yourself for it? Let it go. Or you were young and you couldn't protect yourself, or you didn't have other people to protect yourself, so again, why would you judge yourself? So it's all about just becoming one with yourself and accepting yourself, which was actually a really, really big theme last week. And I want to say since we came out of this 8-8 portal. So God is saying that's the whole purpose of you having this healing journey, is for you to feel whole, for you to feel complete, for you to know that everything that's happened to you made you who you are today. Once you realize that, then you can go on the adventure. But what came out for the adventure is the 10 of Wands. And with this 10 of Wands, what I see is like, for me, I just see like somebody just, this is the reason why God is saying it's necessary for you to get the healing. Because it's like, look at how she's carrying these wands. Like, her back is breaking. Yes, she's getting stuff done, but how is she getting it done? And that's what God is saying about, you know, us taking the time to heal ourselves before we become rich and famous and whatever the things that you want to happen. It's because when you're not whole, you're going to go through life like this. You're going to go through life carrying shit that you don't even necessarily need to carry. You're going to be going through life doing things a certain type of way. Let me pause. I did this message before talking about how sometimes we do things to overcompensate for how we feel inside. You know, that's just like the short man who, you know, he's short, but he got this big ass truck. He's overcompensating, right? But when you're confident in yourself and you know who the fuck you are, you can get your short ass in a goddamn sports car, hop out that bitch and still know, like, bitch, what? Like, I'm the shit, you know? Like, but it's because when you don't know yourself, you do things to overcompensate it and you're not working efficiently. And that's what God's trying to understand. And that's why you need to know how to heal yourself, to stop you from chasing, and also from getting your judgment and your, like, getting you from to stop you from becoming so caught up in the bullshit. You know, like, when I say the bullshit, it's like, don't you know when certain people, you know, reach a certain level of success, and it's like when they first was coming up, they was just like the bomb, and then they like reached that level, and then it's like they're doing all this different stuff, and you're like, who the fuck is this person anymore? Like, it seems like they're like chasing different things, and it's because they have so many other people who's in their ear that's saying, well, you got to do this to be successful, you got to do this to be successful, you got to do this to be successful. But that's because they don't know who they are inside, so they can't just stand in their power and be like, no, I don't need to do that bullshit. I'm going to do me. I'm I'm going to do whatever the fuck makes me feel good. So they go through their career like this. They go through their career feeling, burdened by their fame. They're not able to enjoy it. They're not able to really enjoy the process of even like making music anymore, because they're not doing it from the place of love and the place of healing, but they're doing it from the place of, oh, I got to get these people to understand me. Do you hear what I'm saying? What God is saying is the reason why it's so important for you to heal yourself is so that when you do obtain these things, you can stay grounded in yourself and you won't be fazed by the bullshit. You can just keep going and keep attracting to the next level. Angel number 1519. That's the part. That's what it means to become an alchemist. What God is trying to get you to understand is that He doesn't need us to reach levels of fame and success and forget who the fuck we are. That's defeating the whole purpose. It's just like I was listening to Jill Scott and Jamel Hill podcast where she was talking about how it's very important for her to stay herself and to keep doing the small things. And she like, I don't want to, gain the whole world and lose my soul. What God is saying is that you can gain the whole world, keep your soul, and keep getting more. Like, that's what God is trying to get you to understand. And you can do that by first taking the time to heal yourself. Okay. The last card that came out, and I'm going to move on, is the Ace of Swords. And so I feel like God is giving you this whole reading is coming about is so that you can understand how to not only speak over yourself, but also it is like, to me it's like how you communicate, not only about yourself, about your ideas, and about your past, again about the journey of you healing. It's like once you get that healing, once you understand everything has happened for a reason, it may have been fucked up, it may have not been what I wanted to be, angel number 1632, but it happened, I'm moving on. Then you can stop, then you can drop the burden, then you can go on the adventure, and then you will have a new way of how you communicate and how you move in the world. Okay. All right. But I do feel like a little bit what can be affecting this is the heartbreak of the past, again because the Three of Swords came up. So all about releasing the past so that we can get the life that is truly meant for us. But I'm actually going to get a Law of Attraction card to kind of figure out, why is this message so important? God, what is a tool that we can use to help us understand why healing is so important so that we can learn to work more efficiently? God, what are you trying to get us to understand about this message of healing, adventure, the Sun, 10 of Wands, and the Ace of Swords? What are you trying to get us to understand about communicating, moving differently in our passion? Also, that's another alchemist reading, learning how to move differently. And how can we speak differently? And I want to say the speaking differently of ourselves was a moon reading. So a lot of confirmation that we covered this, and God is saying He's kind of just wanting to highlight why it's so important. All right, guys, so just give us one tool to help us understanding why is it so important for us to heal before we go on this adventure of a lifetime. Why is that so important? How does that better our communication? How does that better how we show up in the world? Also, that's another thing. It's energy. Who comes to you? What you attract to you. When you're whole, when you're happy, when you know yourself, you attract different things to you. When you're still dealing with things from your past, then you also have to attract not only the things that you're working towards, but you're also going to attract the shit that you're running from, okay? Angel number 1823. All right, God. One message, one card that we can use to ground down this message of healing, adventure, in the Ace of Swords. So the two cards that came out is I was feeling my story as I wanted to be, which I'm definitely going to focus on since that was the Ace of Swords, and I can tell a different story. I can always tell a different financial abundance story. So this goes, for me, this card goes with this 10 of Wands. The stories that you're telling yourself, what you need to do to be successful, how you need to, how you're going to accumulate all this wealth. It's so funny. Like, I have just been really, I told you guys on this channel, I've really been just committing to my path and really being like, I really want to see how to make Honestly Sis grow. Like angel number 1911, like I really want to see what happens when I put my time, focus, and attention into it. How can I earn a living just doing what I love? How can I earn a living working off of that? And it's so funny, like, it's like when you change your mind, when you start to accept yourself, when you stop chasing things that are no longer, that are no longer you. It's not even about no longer serving you. You know that's not even you, so you don't have to chase it anymore. Different information comes to you. And yesterday I was actually just chilling, And on my on my Twitter timeline, this article came across about how this woman said I had like a 420 credit score, and now I have like over $10 million in my bank account. And she was just talking about in that article how it is so important for women. Like, a lot of times society talks about how you should save money, you should be doing all of these saving techniques, but it really could take you 32 years to save up at least $3 million. Angel number 2007. And what she was saying is, instead of trying to do all these saving techniques and focusing on what you don't have, you should really focus on what you do have. And she's really encouraging women to try to build side hustles and businesses based off the things that they like to do. And so I was just like so amazed to like see that article and be like, oh wow, like, because you know, sometimes I do have that inside where I do have a brother and a friend. I don't even know, I'm not going to keep calling him my ex, but a friend that's like super into money and saving and investing. And sometimes I do feel like, well, am I doing the right thing? Am I going the right route? And for that information to come to me to be like, you will actually earn more money by just trying to make a business in 7 years than you would trying to save. And I'm like, okay, I am going the right route. So again, what God is saying is, this is an energy game. When you know yourself, when you're healed and you're whole in yourself, the universe could then give you things to attract your new truth. Your new truth. You hear that? Because you're healed and you're whole and you're complete, right? All right. Your abundance or lack of it. Your abundance or lack of it in your experience has nothing to do with what anybody else is doing or having. It only has to do with your perspective. It only has to do with your offering of your thought. If you want your fortunes to shift, you have to begin to tell a different story. So again, that's that mindset of you going on an adventure. And that's what I'm realizing. I'm like, you know what? I have spent so many years like reviewing my past, going over my past, looking at it, saying it shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I should have had a different major. I should have did all these different things. But at the end of the day, I am so much different than who I was, and like my outlook and like even the things I'm working towards is so much different than what I had back then. So it's like I'm really realizing like I have to change my focus. I have to change my attention. And if I just focused on what I want to do, like, you know, like who knows what would happen. So it's like, again, it's about shifting our focus and stop focusing on what happened in the past, and really even stop worrying about the future and just doing the work now. You know, like doing the work now and telling a new story about the work that we're doing now. The card that we're going to focus on for the Ace of Swords is, if you let your dominant intention to be to revise and improve the content of the story you tell every day of your life, it is our absolute promise to you that your life will become that ever-improving story. For by the powerful law of attraction, the essence of that which is like unto itself is drawn, it must be. And so remember, and look, my life will be as good as I allow it to be. Doubling down, Angel number 2244, where God is saying you have the power to change your life if only you would just release this heartache and change the stories that you're telling yourself on a day-to-day basis. And I actually really love that that message came out, because I also feel like it's doubling down on the message that's going to come out, that's coming out Monday, about the change your life story. So what God is saying, that if we do, instead of like looking at healing as something that we need to go out and obtain, like we need to get a crystal, we need to go to yoga, we need to get into a new moon circle, if we just say, I'm not going to worry about trying to find my tribe right now. I'm just going to worry about changing the stories that I tell myself, changing the way that I work, changing the way and the way I talk about my finances and my future finances. I'm curious to see how your life will change. I'm curious to see in the next month or so. As a matter of fact, I don't want to keep, let's just say in the next month or so, if on a day-to-day basis you are mindful and consciously aware of the stories that you tell yourself, how much healing would happen to your life? How much more would you feel like you're on an adventure and like life was not working against you? You hear what I'm saying? God is just trying to get you to understand that, yes, you know, it's very important to go on a healing journey, but it doesn't have to be so regimented. You don't have to be watching these YouTube videos every day. You don't have to, I don't know, everybody's trying to say all these things you have to do, and you honestly don't have to do a goddamn thing, but follow your heart and be mindful of the stories that you tell yourself. Okay? All right, y'all. So I'm going to leave the message at that. And actually, I'm just going to end this message with, reading about the Sun card. That's where we're going to end this message. Actually, I'm going to read the Sun and the Ten of Wands. And That's how we gonna leave it. If I can find it. Ciao. Okay. The sun. Abundance is radiating down upon you as warm yellow rays illuminate your days and your confidence and lighthearted fun. The sun is a source of life and you are reflecting its positive vibes, attracting people towards you with whimsical and a sunny attitude. There is beautiful in simplicity, small details creating life for the big picture. Take pleasure in the simple moments, whether it's taking a stroll, laughing with friends, or even just journaling haikus and random thoughts. Have some fun. The sun is a confirmation that you have sunnier days ahead of you filled with optimism and enthusiasm. After experiencing gray skies and thunderstorms, you can now appreciate the good that is present at this time. You are equipped to handle any storm and move forward with assurance that you are on the right path. And for some reason, when I was reading that, I just got the confirmation that you guys, you're healing. I feel like if you've been doing this for a long time, I feel like what God is saying is there's no more searching. There's no more things that you need to heal. Now you need to incorporate all the stuff that you need to learn. 2 years ago, I made this rule that I'm not picking up no more self-help books until I apply the shit that I learned in the other self-help books. That's what God's trying to tell you. It's time for you to start applying the information that you've learned on your healing journey so far. Angel number 1615. Last message with the 10 of Wands. Through persistence, late nights, and hard work, you have achieved your accomplishments. Now that you've built your creative baby, this is about maintaining it and allowing it to grow. With this new venture comes a new set of obligations. You may feel burdened by the responsibility and think that you have to do it all on your own. Consider expanding and delegating your tasks so that you are not carrying all the weight on your shoulders. Don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Prioritize what you actually enjoy doing and identify your strengths and weaknesses. Allow others to help you with your other tasks that don't give you joy and focus on the big picture. By releasing the weight of these burdens, you are prioritizing yourself and you don't have to do it alone. And again, I feel like once you get that healing, once you understand that, yeah, all that stuff happened to me in the past, but I'm not there anymore. I'm now in this place where I'm happy, I'm whole, and I'm complete, and I'm actually in a place where I can work with the universe to attract the things that are to me. Now you can release the burden, and now you can tell yourself a new story about how you want your life to be. All right, that's all the messages I have for you. If you made it to the end of this message, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps people find the channel. If you made it to the end of the message and you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe. Until we meet again, dream those dreams. Never let the internet rush you, and never ever let someone tell you what you cannot do. If you're interested in learning more about me and Honestly Sis, or donating to the channel in any way, all of that information is down in the description box below. All right, y'all. See you soon. Bye.